What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. If you thought that the Crush card was going to stop people from playing stupid games on the market, boy, were you wrong. I saw all sorts of comments that are like, yeah, people are gonna eat their buyouts. They're not gonna have any more things to buy out for months. They're gonna calm down. Everything's gonna drop in price. We have no sooner than right around the corner, and I wouldn't have been spending my money on this one. Last night we showed on stream, it was towards $20, now towards $25. People are really bum rushing Masterpiece. A, I don't think it's going to come off the F and L list. B, it had nothing to do with the OCG F and L list. C, like, I get people love certain cards and certain strategies. They've been hitting True Draco over and over. They just hit Cardatomize, which was mainly being played in this deck. Yes, there's also Mystic Mind burn decks, but it was, let's face it, because of this. They're not going to suddenly pull a 180, you turn out and just bring Masterpiece back and be like, yeah, True Dracos, that's what everybody loves. We want to see True Dracos this meta. No, I get there may be some drastic changes, especially with the Master Rule along the horizon, but I think it's going to be damage control on synchro looping, similar to the OCG list. There are things that we can implicate from their list that will be happening here, but Masterpiece, I do not see this one coming. I could be wrong. Ban lists are always speculation. I think this is one of the worst speculations I've seen in a very, very long time, but he does not have a reprint, and if you're wanting to buy terrible cards, please use my TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra and supporting the channel directly for the terrible decisions you'd already be making. Now, another card that's really going off the market right now is Artifact Ignition. This was underestimated by many. I actually showed when it went up to $6 and was bought out, so this is its second wave. People are really eating these up. It is a great card. It does pair well with the Artifact Link, and I kind of like it, but I don't like it at these price points. You know, 20 plus freaking dollars. I don't like it there, so I would personally be selling it unless you're planning to play it. And yes, there are going to be far less events. Regionals are for the unforeseeable future, like pushed off. We have one date, but now the government is saying for 2 whole months, I believe in many different places, that gatherings over 50 people are going to be restricted / not allowed. You do have to keep in mind the competitive scene drives competitive prices, but casual does not equal broke. People still want to play in their locals, they still want to play their strategies, and on a second wave of buyouts, I think this is going to cool off slower than a lot of people might think. Now, talking about dual overload and the hype that it's bringing, prices are going up and people are freaking out about it on TCG Player. Halifibrax towards 40, Verte Anaconda at 25, you have Impermanence, it's been holding around 23. Guys, stop freaking out. I want you to look me face to face here. Guys, these are the same X amount of sellers, 10 or under sellers, that have been on there. What does that mean? They're running out of quantities, and you're about to have a rush of quantities. One of the most ordered sets of all time coming in, meeting that place of there being no major events and there only being locals, but still this is going to sell a ton of cards. Well, you may be licking your chops and thinking, man, if I pull this, I get an even better value. These are the same sellers that have been here. Top rated, top rated, top rated, top rated, top rated, top rated, top rated. They've been playing the pre-sale game. They're lining up, hoping that these go away and that they make an early panic sale. That's all they're hoping for. They really should be trying to sell their quantities, and instead, they're holding this stupid line together, and playing stupid games gets you stupid rewards. Let's be freaking honest. You should be happy with Needle Fiber towards 35.30, and we see over here, of course, Tier 0 not taking advantage towards 37, and you can use that code WhatsGood5 for 5% off. I'd still say that's high. Short printing or not, we're about to learn ratios very soon. People are starting to get their hands on this set. It doesn't matter if they're short prints when this set is going to be torn open so much. There's going to be so many freaking quantities on the market. Stop panic buying. Save your money. I have an incentive to tell you to buy at higher prices. Stop it. You know, I get paid a percentage when you use my link. I get paid, you know, a percentage based on your cart. Stop. Calm down. Take a deep breath. Think of how many freaking... What's a card that's been going up in price? Cyber Emergency? Towards $7? Think of how many physical copies versus the demand will end up on market. Now, could this be back here one day? Mayhaps. But versus the initial week and a half to 2 weeks where the set really actually is hitting the market? No. The reason these prices have been up so long That's because we knew the set spoiler way ahead of any set thanks to Konami opening up to the community with both Jerome McHale and then on their EU Community Day. That's how we've known these cards for so long. There's going to be a much more real amount of sellers on these cards very, very freaking soon. And nobody wants to take a loss. They want their estimated value pulled. I think it's ridiculous that something like Cyber Emergency is above price. Like, look, remember its release price and its first buyout price put it towards 18? Like, 18 is what it was at for the longest. Just think about that. So stop panic buying and chill out. If I'm going for cards, I'd be going after what I feel like is undervalued cards, like Union Carrier. I don't think they're going to hit too much around this. To look at the OCG ban list, I think we're going to have a crazy WCQ season whenever, we get the WCQ. And I really, really would be looking at cards like this that are among the pack that I feel like are undervalued. Dengirsu, towards $3, appropriate value. Get things that you think have the potential to go up. Don't panic and be like, oh, it's going up, I gotta get mine now. I missed the boat on this one. I've been looking for past format decks for a while. I've been talking about this because we want to do during the off season whenever that actually happens, which kind of seems like a forced off season right now. I wanted to do past format tabletop with 24 different decks for a 24-hour stream. Billy's a huge X-Saber player, so I wanted to, maybe give him a treat and do full max rarity X-Sabers. That's not happening, because when I look at full max rarity X-Sabers, $18 for Dark Souls, $25 freaking dollars for First Ed Immerse Blades. Yes, the Unlimiteds are cheaper, and then Gotham's is towards 15, which is about where I thought it would. So I could get him maybe one, and like, you have Gotham's Emergency Call, it's ultra rare is like towards 8s, 9s. So I'd be spending like, $200 on just one deck when I could get like 3 or 4 past formats for that. I wanted to do something nice for my roommate. I'm holding off. I can't spend that kind of money just to make it shiny. So if you have fully hollowed out X-Sabers, it is a fan favorite, and people are even talking about how it could be kind of cool for the next Master Rule. Man, did that freaking blow up over time and under my nose. Apollosa, Bow of the Goddess. We talked about how some panic selling might happen, but people sell for different reasons. I've had people in my chat yesterday saying that, man, I just bought a Lightning Storm, kind of regretting it because my job just shut me out and now I need money. So you're not going to have just panic selling. You're going to have people also trying to sell their cards for lower prices because they just straight up need the money with the game. That happens in any collectible market. You go to the statue market and people get laid off. Suddenly they haven't properly managed their bankroll. There goes a Godzilla figure. There goes a Venom figure. People don't really bankroll manage when they're buying stuff, and that applies to Yu-Gi-Oh! Too. Some people have more in their Yu-Gi-Oh! Collection than they have in their bank account. And if you are a vendor, you're usually card rich and cash poor. So we do see a bunch of $100 Apollosis suddenly appearing on the market on TCG Player, which would kind of feel like panic selling, but it's a grand total of less than 10, and you see nobody else really rushing to get under that 115 market. I would say that this is more of a price correction on her. She's been overinflated. Usually that one of in the extra deck floats between 60 to 90. She's so good, and people went for 3 of her at a time for Spirals. Spirals are no longer that popular, so I feel like this little shake to reality is more a market correction for her than an actual, like, just huge price fall off. But it is 20% versus where she was at, 100 versus 125. So I do get why people would be freaking out about this a little. She's not the heartbeat of the market, though. I would think cards like Masquerena and the others are more the heartbeat, the ones that are at their appropriate price versus the hype and usage. So I wouldn't be really staring at this too hard. I wouldn't be running around like a chicken with my head cut off. We see one on eBay before it's this, but maybe the market's finally going to correct on Apollosa and she'll be a $90 cards. You see cards like the Evil Heroes actually just sticking in price, though, because there's less quantities of them, less meta players, more fans. Casual doesn't mean broke. More fans who went after this, not just to play it in the regional season, but to have for a long term. That's why you see, yes, you have the Euro sellers, but the English copies really are sticking in there at 120. So it's not like, oh, the sky is falling on the market because one card is doing that. That's not the heartbeat of the market just because I keep showing it. Thank you guys for watching today's Market Watch. What do you think of the increase in price of Dual Overload? Again, you're looking at the same couple of sellers who have been running out of quantities of this card. You're about to have hundreds of different sellers lining the market in just 1 week, I think we're going to be looking at very different prices soon and fallouts on certain things. But there are others that I'm worried about. I was going to go after Imperm at the $15 mark on tier 0, and now they're 20s. And I don't know if it can fall below 18. Really depends on if it's short printed or not and how many are flooding the market. But we're going to have to see what falls where. I'm not buying $40 Halifrybrex. I don't think it's going to last there. I think you're going to have one card that is worth the value of the set, as has been the past case, versus MSRP. So $30 is where it's going to line up. And people aren't after playsets of this. They're after playsets of this. Just keep that in mind. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Again, if you are shopping, use that TCG player link in the description down below. It supports the channel directly for the cards you would already be buying if you're shopping tier 0. Code What's Good 5 does support the channel directly as well whenever you use that code. It's an interesting time for the market for sure. It's an interesting time for the whole world though. So keep in mind those real kind of collisions, and sales rates will be sure interesting for people who bought this one.